Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to Live App Coding with Will Melton. I'm Will Melton. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm having a great time already. I've started off on a couple of things that we're gonna, and I'll share my screen. Actually, I'm already sharing my screen, so let me get over to my camera view here. So go check out studio.willmelton.com to find out all the things that I'm up to. I'm building 52 apps in 2026, and I've already built over half of that amount. So we're ahead of schedule. I'm not doing it because I need 52 apps. I'm doing it because I am on a challenge. I'm looking to see what I can learn in this space. I want to find out what I don't know and what I can leverage to improve upon. So I'm taking you guys on this journey because I hope that you will learn alongside me, and I hope that you will find out how easy it is to build. There's a lot of nuance to this. It helps that I've been building websites for the better part of 10 years. I understand how to take something to market, and so I bring a lot of skill to the table, and I can show you guys some of those pieces to the puzzle that are a little bit more advanced. But that goes into deploying things to the web and knowing how DNS works, and making sure you have secure websites, and understanding multi-tenant applications so that you can allow for users and payments and all the things that make applications an effective use of time to build. So I'm going to switch over, and I'm actually going to work on a couple of things today because I am in three places at once, as is typical for me. So I want to clean the smudges off my glasses here before I get going because I can't see. Um, but I hope you guys will pop into the comments. I am actively tracking with you guys over there, and I would love some suggestions and some feedback today. I am actually trying to move my chat window over here to the right-hand side of my screen. Here we go. That way I'll be able to see you guys the entire time we are together. So in any event, I'm going to pop into my website really quickly and just take you into studio.willmelton.com because I want to see what we're up to now. We have 20 apps marked complete. However, I have a suite of applications for Exponent 21 that are not yet represented here. So I started to put some of those things in here last week. Spaceport made it in here. Um, Product Roadmap app made it in there. So there have been a few additions that I've kind of had sitting around that I didn't actually publish until recently, but that is it. You can find out more there. You can subscribe and follow the journey that way. You can also send people our way if they are interested in investing in something like this or purchasing an application that we have on the shelf. Some opportunities there. So I'm going to go into hydration media really quickly because this is one of my side projects, I guess you could call it. I'm working to build a map of all of the free hydration that you can find in the city of Richmond, and eventually beyond. Right now, we're really just looking at this location map, and all this is in service to essentially renting out and eventually installing permanent fixed refill stations as infrastructure throughout the region. So, this is something that I've been working on to support my team because we use this site to handle all of our rentals and registrations. And this isn't something that's online now, but it's something that we are working to make available to people. I also, if you read the description today, I am also building Passport to Space, which is a news site and intelligence service for people who are interested in space tourism. Something that my agency is interested in, something that I'm interested in as we move into the future. There will be more space tourism. It's a reality today, and I don't necessarily have a particular interest in traveling to space, but I do know that this is going to be something that is going to evolve into the future. So I'm thinking about how we can contribute to that space and think about space. So I thought this would be a fun build for you guys today. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to build a travel app that is for people who know that they want to travel to a place, kind of know that they are going to go, they know their window of travel, and they want to travel for less. And so what we're going to do is connect them to local merchants who are willing to extend discounts to them preemptively. And I will just want to come in here and refresh this screen really quickly because I'm running a series of sprints on this build already. I started this site today based on Channel RVA. So this is a rebuild of that application. And that made it easy for me to kind of get into the world of space tourism. So I'll talk a little bit about the business model for that here in a minute. But hey, Michael, thanks for joining me. Building some fun stuff today. Traveling to places on Earth and places outside of Earth.
You're tuned into Channel RVA, the media hub for independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
So speaking of Channel RVA, I'm listening to RVA Art over here, and we're actually using this site as the foundation for Passport to Space. So this will actually be there as a image, images of space that we're going to grab and put in. And so this will have some utility. We're going to find all kinds of ways to repurpose this website to make this a new media site. I've already built out a roadmap for that, so there's a lot of stuff here that's really about tying what we've already built back to space and stripping some of the stuff out that we don't need. So I'm going to auto-assemble a sprint using my roadmap feature. This is something that I built a while back, and I have been leveraging pretty consistently, but it allows me to just paste a sprint into the chat and let Lovable go. One thing I'll point out to you guys this weekend, Lovable is giving you 2x credits until April 30th. So if you are interested to start building with Lovable and use this tool to build for yourself, there is a referral code inside of the description to this event and the comments on LinkedIn regarding it. So if you wanted to get that link and open up an account, you can get 10 free credits, and that will turn into 20 free credits as far as the compute cost goes to build. And if you do decide to sign up, I'll get a little bounty for that, but no pressure there, only if you think it's worth it to be in this world. So I get to sit back and chat with you guys and drink my coffee. I know it's a little late for coffee, but maybe not for you. Not for me. And watch this build. So what we're doing, I'll talk to you about all these things. We're introducing a registry. This should have changed, but we'll see what happens. I'm not fully settled on interest registry, at least not that language, so we'll figure it out. We have to make some navigation changes. We need to update the RSS feeds to make sure that we're pulling in content that talks about space and aerospace. Navigation, IA. I don't understand what IA is. Maybe I'm just dense. Extend AP style guide for space terms. Yes. Reconfigure AI daily briefing. We're probably not going to do a daily briefing. I don't know that we will need to do it daily. Mission control audio rebrand, space image gallery. So all that's basically stuff that I mentioned before. So we will work through all of these things. And while I do that, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my phone, which I left in the other room, and I'm going to do a voice memo because I want to make sure that I don't lose any of it. And that's the best way. I have continued to have problems with Lovable losing my chat thread or other AI losing my chat thread. So I may find my phone. We'll see. Actually, I think I do know where it is. Well, maybe not. Just before I got on the live stream, I spilled water all over the floor in the kitchen. So I have a little bit of a debacle there. That's why I got started a little late today. So we'll do voice memos here. This is acceptable. So I would like to build an application that helps people save money on their trip. Thinking about international travel a little bit, something that takes longer to plan, something that's a little bit more expensive, has some degree of, I don't want to say anxiety, but just some amount of planning stress, and certainly the cost is a factor. So what I want to do is give people a place where they can plan their trip, where they can say, this is where I want to go, and this is when I'm going to go there, and begin to figure out what it costs to do that. What are flights right now, generally speaking, for that? What are hotel rooms? What does it cost to eat there? How many people are going to be traveling in the group? What sorts of activities are you interested in? What types of vacations do you like? And all of that will essentially build a profile for that family, that traveling group, to say, this is who they are, this is what they're interested in, and let's see if we can't match them to opportunities and experiences in their trip window. That's one half of the equation. And there's a lot of tools in this to be able to make it easy for people to plan, to think about the different steps that they're going to have to go through to make it as easy as possible to build their itinerary, to give them something that they can just export or click on as a link and see in their phone. It'll be a free tool. And what's going to happen is we'll have some premium features eventually, but the way that it's going to work is we will have merchants and lodging outfits and different excursion companies and all of the different providers for a particular location region have the ability to extend a discount to people who will be presumably traveling to that area. So we can offer some kind of deal during certain months of the year to people preemptively, or we can look around and see, well, there are 100 people who are indicating they're interested in coming to the region on this particular week. I want to bring them in on my slowest day. So I want to give a discount to a certain number of people. You know, we can make it a limited pool of discounts that can be claimed. And I have to figure out what the best way to handle this is. If they claim it, is there some kind of hold fee that they pay that they lose if they don't actually use the discount? And then that fee comes off of the final amount as well as the discount. So ultimately, the merchant pays the fee and the discount, but the customer is paying a hold fee to ensure that there's an incentive to actually utilize the opportunity, making it work for the merchants. I think that there probably could be some kind of tiered system for merchants too, so that we can give them some additional promotional opportunities, something to generate additional revenue for the site, making it pay for the compute that it's going to cost to do the planning piece. And ultimately, we're going to build this in Lovable, so we need to make a plan to do that. I want to think through some of the things that I'm not thinking about that could be useful for this app, both for the user and for the relationship and the ultimate economic value that it's designed to create, both the savings for the customer and the flow of business for the merchant. Okay, so I'm going to go over to Claude, and I have a project set up for live vibe coding, and so I'm just going to paste that in here, and we'll start to talk to Claude a little bit about this plan. I don't like to build before I have a plan in place. There's all kinds of things, blind spots. I don't know what I don't know. I've not really traveled internationally all that much. I do have the business version, I believe, of of Claude, so I'm not sure if this will be the experience that you have if you were using this, but we have adopted it as our generative engine of choice at Exponent 21 after a pilot and I think a big letdown from OpenAI and ChatGPT. Okay, let's take a look at this traveler profile: destination, dates, group size, budget, travel style, interests, live costs, estimates, flights, hotels, food, supportable itinerary,
You're tuned into channel RVA, the media hub for
demand
independent
visibility, who's
creators.
coming and when, deal
Subscribe at
creation tools, discount pool size
channelrva.com.
window, redemption tracking, hold fees, conversions, tier upgrades, and promotions. Yes. I'm gonna go back to voice memos and do a new voice memo because I don't like the Claude um, voice mode. Okay, so when this first launches, we're not going to have a base of users. So I'm wondering if we can find some public discount sites where we might be able to find existing discounts. And we can use an example destination. We can use Richmond, Virginia as the starting destination because there's no doubt demand for people that want to travel to this place. So maybe we can see if we can find a local deal site where we can find available deals for local merchants, restaurants, hotels, anything like that to seed this with. And then kind of creates that initial value for the traveler. And then for the merchant, because we're not going to have any users to start off with, we may not necessarily show the demand visibility right away because it just isn't going to exist. But we can certainly convey that future functionality and talk about the ecosystem a little bit in that way. What I do want to do is also make sure that we are always conveying the savings as a part of this ecosystem. So when I start to accumulate deals, I'm going to be paying, say, $1 or something like that to hold the deal. Um, and that'll add up for a long trip. So we want to always show how much is being saved as a result, some estimated amount based on what we know meals to cost or shopping and various things. So just always be building that value case for why somebody would want to engage with this site.
I love music. Die einzige App, die du brauchst für Nonstop Dance und DJ Music in the Mix. Jetzt neu? Mit Tomorrowland One World Radio, der offizielle Tomorrowland Radiosender. 24/7 in the Mix.
Just reading through this output.
Tomorrowland every day in der I Love Music App.
It's interesting.
I love chill hop.
So this is talking about the demand value of the data that we're capturing from the users. I like that. I think the flat fee makes more sense. It says $5 to $15. I think it just depends on the value of the discount. I think we can do it from $1 to $15 if the discount's valuable enough. Maybe we can ladder it so it's not exactly percentage, but it's in tranches. And I definitely agree with the big picture planning, showing them the pricing of that. That's definitely in mind. So the reason for the hold pledge or the trip pledge is the fact that there's a limited number of discounts available, and we want those discounts to go to customers who are actually going to use them. So you would have to relinquish the deal within a certain amount of time ahead of the trip in order to get the money back, which I think is reasonable. But the whole point of it is to make sure that those deals are open for people who are going to use them. All right, let's see what we get back from that. The other thing I wonder about is just in the assistance piece of it. I think it makes sense to at least have a sense for when it's appropriate to travel to different places. Obviously, you can go any place, anytime, but I think having some sense of travel demand in an area is wise, because then we can kind of identify and pinpoint lower demand times to direct people to, or where we might be able to cluster discounts to kind of spread tourism out over the longer period of time instead of trying to jam a bunch of people in peak season. Obviously, there's not going to be a lot of discounts in peak season anyway, so I think that there's an element around helping people travel the bookends of the season. And then that also gets merchants the most potential traffic whenever they're in the bookends as well. But I'm also thinking about just making sure that we're removing the friction. So you don't have to know when it's appropriate to travel to different places. You know, we can select a country, and that kind of drives the planning windows. I don't really know how. I don't want to force people down a path. I don't even know how the UI for this is going to work necessarily, but it's got to be really simple for people to get started and just define their destination and window for travel so that they can see, like, almost immediately they start to see deals and discounts that are available for that place. All right, let's see what this says. To answer the question, I think for this right now, we won't charge anybody yet. I think what we could do is let people add things to their cart or to their interest list as a means to demonstrate what their savings would be. We'll do the payment bit later because this is a bit of a novelty build, just to see if there might be some demand for this. We'll put this in our portfolio and see if we can't create some potential interest from it. Perhaps Richmond Region Tourism would be interested in something like this. So you can see that I'm doing this in reverse order. I put my input in while I read so that it computes while I'm reading. That saves me some time. Helps me to think while it's working and vice versa. Okay, so as you guys might recall, if you've been following along for a little while, my method here is to take my original original prompt, and make sure that the business case is fully articulated there, because the build plan isn't going to do that. Let's give this a fun name really quickly. Okay, so I'll have this build plan here done in a second that I'll attach to this, and then we'll let that build. While this is writing, I'm going to come back over here and see where we're at with this. Looks like we have some sprint items left. It doesn't always finish things as instructed, but that's okay. I can refresh this page. My sprint queue is not working the way that it should. So we'll go take a look and see what the front end of this site looks like, as we haven't poked around that for a little while. I'm contemplating a change to the logo there to something simpler. We'll see. I'm not sure how I feel about any of it, but there's some problems with this design that I kind of knew about, but hey, C Films, how you doing? I'm building a few things today. If you're just popping on, I've got a news site for people who want to travel to space, and I'm just about to kick off a build for a travel site that has some savings opportunities for people that pre-plan their travel, connects merchants to travelers, giving them exclusive discounts. Not unlike some of the other things that are out there, but it is a little bit different in the way that it connects the two parties, and so we'll see that get built out here in just a second. But what do we have going on here? It's got some questions for me today, so we'll come back to that. But I'm going to close out a Claude because I'm not going to come back to that. We'll do everything inside of Lovable going forward. Also, if you're joining me for the first time, Lovable this week through the end of the month is double the compute, so every credit's worth 2. Okay. Trip by day entertains most complex piece. Drag and drop. All right, so we'll let that one build. And if you haven't been with me before, studio.willmelton.com is where you can see all of this stuff. And I'm going to do something really quickly. I'm going to go over to Lovable, and I am going to go into my studio site and get I want to make a quick change here because I was sitting here telling you, why did I choose Lovable? I'll tell you in just one second. Really quickly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my referral code for Lovable into my website because I have enjoyed Lovable. So I'll talk to this here really quickly. I want to add a referral code to Lovable on here, and I want to just have a quick button there for people to easily, click into Lovable and get free credits. Since I'm building in Lovable, I'm not quite sure where in the site it should go, but we should put someplace somewhat prominently, I think, and the opportunity to save or to get free credits is, let's see, we can tell people that they can get 10 extra credits when they sign up with my invite link. So I chose Lovable because they were one of the fastest growing platforms out there whenever I came into looking for something like this. Another one that's similar is Vercel. You can transfer apps between the two. They're pretty interchangeable. But there have been some bumpy days in it in the last year or so. I think AI itself, the models are getting better at coding, so that's part of how this has gotten better. But I felt, having built for a decade, Most times building is slow and Lovable makes it fast. And so I would say that they provide the hosting aspect of it, which is really a big time saver. Having to spin up a cloud server and deploy there, it just the network administration is a lot of overhead. So it's a lot easier to build something like this or Vercel.
You're tuned into channel RVA, the media hub for independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
If you're in the Richmond region and you have not subscribed to Channel RVA, channelrva.com is the place where you can do that. And I send a daily newsletter out covering some national headlines and also local news. But you'll see recommendations on where to eat, what to read from local authors, podcasts. What do we have in there? Local YouTubers. So we're growing our network of content over there. And that is the foundation for Passport to Space, which is a site for people who are interested in space travel. We have some work to do over here. That's what I'm running these sprints out on. And essentially what we're doing is serving as a medium between space tourism clients and the growing world of space tourism providers. My agency is interested in becoming a space tourism marketing agency, and it's not like there's a lot of opportunity to do that right now. But there are ways that we can enter the marketplace, and so our way is to create a valuable resource for enthusiasts and would-be travelers, high net worth individuals, people who are curious about the process, curious about the cost, serious about the travel. And we will connect them to all things space tourism, so they know the preparation, they know the timeline, they know the cost. They can see comparisons and pricing charts and trend lines and things like that. So I am just converting Channel RVA from a local news site to a location agnostic site that's in English primarily, but all centered around space. And this will be pretty automated. I won't have to do a whole lot of work on this. Channel RVA requires an editor's touch, whereas I'll be able to find ways to bring content to the surface here where it's doesn't require as much of my input.
Wie gut kennst du dich aus mit der Hit Music History? Schalt jetzt zum neuen Hit Quiz Channel und zock direkt die nächste Runde. Let's quiz.
All right. So let's see. I've got that cooking there. I've got another sprint teed up. And I'll worry about the homepage design after we have more of the features built in. So I'll let that go. Hydration media, last time I was in here, we were adding a map and locations. And this is working the way that it should. And now I need to go to the dashboard and look at locations, and it's not cold. It is filtered. It is ADA accessible. It's verified. Shown on the public map. Okay, cool. All right, and same thing over here. I gotta make sure that this doesn't say that it's cold because it's not cold. Now, a couple of things to note about my brain and the way I'm thinking here. Hydration Media is the place where people can go to rent refill stations, and our location finder will also grow into a number of locations where you can find free public water around the region. But one of the ways that I'm going to be able to effectively get that to happen is by getting people to submit locations to us. And so I have, let me just see. I'm seeing that the key says that the events are temporary, but I'm looking at the event for Ren Fair, and which is today, and it's not showing up as yellow, which is what the key says. Sorry, I was talking and thinking at the same time, and I got sidetracked. So one of the things that what I'm working on here is getting people to submit refill stations that might be inside their businesses and whatnot. And there's an interesting play that I've got going here is we're actually going to build out a network of refill stations that we can sell advertising against. And the way that that's going to work is we're going to trade people that have refill stations advertising space on Channel RVA. And that will allow for a clean trade, and then we'll be able to have this large network of refill stations that we can effectively place media on for our customers, our advertising customers. And yeah, it's kind of a way for us to build out a CRM of potential people that would be interested. I mean, they have a business, they probably want to market it. Channel RVA is all about local media, local everything, and so really connecting everybody better together. I'd be curious to know more about your travel guide. That sounds pretty cool. So, Channel RV has been a work in progress for a little while. It's kind of a quirky little place where you can get your horoscope and see all of our original programming. The agency, we've got a new show coming out on Monday. If that's the 20th, I believe it is. So go check that out if you haven't seen that. My vibe coding is found also here, and you can see anytime any of our programming is live, you can also see that here and watch that right inside of our streaming engine. So you can see me right there. And let's see, maybe get back over here to our applications. I should have a build going on something. Let's see what happens with the trip saver. Yes, we'll allow cloud. On tablet view, there's too much in the menu. Maybe it's just when admin's visible, but I can't see the right-hand hamburger menu. All right, so we are working over here on a few things. Yeah, so after having built many websites with WordPress and leaning on CSS and PHP and HTML, I've concluded that it takes too long to build sites like that. So not only that, it just takes a lot of time to administer them. So I realize that you can build all of that stuff with Claude Code or some other IDE, but I have taken a liking to React sites. They are fast, super fast. All right, let's see what's going
You're
on
tuned
here.
into channel RVA, the media hub for independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
Let that keep going. I think this is fine now. Let's see what happens here. That's fine. Let that go. This one was my original plan today to build this travel saver website. And somehow, in between that plan and our session starting today, I decided to make Passport to Space because it's part of my strategy, of my bigger marketing agency strategy. So it was something that I was feeling a little passionate about. So I did a little bit of pre work today. Still have to figure out this brand problem, but I do have passporttospace.com. So this is going to be a real product that is information based, but eventually it will generate revenue because we'll be connecting people to carriers. So we'll be able to get paid a fee to connect people to the various space tourism companies. Surprisingly, there's a handful of them already, and I imagine we'll see more coming online soon. Yeah, it's funny how projects always start out to be one thing, and they maybe solve that pretty quickly and easily, and they morph it into something else that's maybe a little bit more useful or valuable. I find that I discover the market fit after I start building something and put a prototype out there and see how people respond to it. And I've enjoyed that. You know, I've been able to watch the subscriber list grow on Channel RVA as a sign of validation that what I'm doing there is meaningful to people. People like um, local stuff, so they want to be connected to their community, and I've found that there's a real passion for that. And I don't know what I said, Halkiana, I can't, Halconi, I guess that's how I say your name. Uh, what's enjoyable? I missed something about that because I'm ADD and I skip around a lot. But if you're just jumping on studio.wellmelton.com, oh yeah, growing user count, it is enjoyable. Well, you know, the thing is if you're a creator, if you make anything, you go through periods of creating where you feel like nobody's watching and nobody has any interest in what you're doing. But I find that, well, I have found that talking to people, I have a lot of people that lurk in the background and they say, oh, hey, I watch you vibe code and I really like what you're doing. Or somebody comes to me and says, hey, can you help me build something? Because I know that you do that. And so I know a lot of people are watching this and following along, whether they're doing it live or async. And so I feel good to hear that. I wish more people would engage like you guys are doing today. I do appreciate your commentary. I know some people here are local. Some people might just be finding this on Twitch as they're looking through the channels. So having fun. And I'm stuck. I'm talking to you guys and I'm not building. So let's see what we have. Travel Thrift. Don't like that font too much. Don't like that color too much, but we'll get that fixed. Low competition Twitch keyword. Yeah, I can imagine there's probably only a few. I wonder how much demand there is on Twitch, though. I just go live on it because I can embed it into my website easily. And I don't know, it was what motivated the format to begin with. I'm also on YouTube and LinkedIn Live, and I'm also streaming on studio.wellmelton.com and on Channel RVA. So the demand for live vibe coding isn't huge. I know the demand for Twitch is. Game dev, yeah. I've built a couple of games. I've got one it's kind of an interactive game called the AI Game Show Podcast. Let me see if I can't find this. Oh, it's actually in Channel RVA. I forgot about that. So this is actually an in-person game, but we record it and then we let people vote on the outcome. So we have an interface that serves as my. Actually, I could do some work on this now that I think about it. These cameras should be somewhere better positioned so I can actually see them. But essentially, the way that this works is there's a countdown. I'm going to reset this so that we can play again. So essentially, what we would do is we would reveal this. And so then there's the countdown, then there's the prompt. Now, what happens for the players is they have a view where they can recruit a voice. So they choose a voice, and it should be playing a preview here, but I can just say, hey, that didn't work right, but I guess that could work. But what's happening is over here, we'll get submissions from the players. And I guess I have to send that still. It's going to come in and get read out loud.
Reservation was for 2, not 2.5.
And essentially, there's a dialogue between the various players. We record it, and then everybody gets to vote on who they thought was the funniest. So it's like we have screens. We actually do it live, so we have cameras that are showing everybody. You can see everybody's face through the players. So I can start my camera here, and then for me, the host, I should be able to see a preview down here. It might take a second to catch up. For me, this is the display for the viewing audience. And so, yep, you can see my camera there. And so we can switch between what the host sees, what the players see, what I see, and they're all 5 minutes long. And so once we wrap up the round, and imagine there's just continuous dialogue going on, AI voices, you can't say anything. There's that fanfare celebration that goes on, and I don't know how well you can hear the music because I've got it turned down so you guys can hear my voice, but this is we actually we've cast the first episode and the third episode. We've got half the cast for the second episode, and then the fourth episode I still have to actually work out. But we'll do a finale. Whoever wins each episode will come back together into a final episode. And so it's trying to imagine how to make different types of media and that's actually not a bad idea. So the way that it's going to work ultimately is there will be an in-video player voting system. So for every comment, I think this is going to work, but for every comment that's left, the viewing audience will be able to leave a laughing face emoji. And so they can leave as many laughing face emojis as there are comments. And at the end of each round, the person would be able to vote 10 points to whichever player they thought did the best. And so that's how we'll run it for a week or something like that. So all voting is asynchronous. And I wonder, so one of the things that we have done with this is it is developed to be sort of exported out of this system and playable by people in remote settings. You have to have a host that's going to be able to manage that side of things to make it all work. There's some tech that I'd have to work on to be able to make sure people can talk to each other on the side while this is going on so that they can get teed up. Maybe a Zoom call or something before the gameplay starts, but in any event, there's some kind of thinking about taking this outside of the Channel RVA ecosystem. All right, so I'm getting off track here, so I'll close out of these things. Oh, this is pretty cool. I'm just clicking around, taking a look at what I built here.
You're tuned into channel RVA,
I
the
have
media hub for independent creators.
my
Subscribe
plan
at
was to
channel
build for about an hour today,
RVA.com.
and I'll be back live again tomorrow at 10 a.m. So we'll be able to wrap up and make this a meaningful build. But I will wrap up here in a few minutes because I want to go outside and enjoy this beautiful day. Um, but I'm enjoyed chatting with you guys today and hanging out. Like I said, you can subscribe over here to learn more about my journey to 52 apps in 2026. You can see other things that I've built. You can also see all my past sessions over here. The other thing, I think if you scroll to the very bottom, you can see this one here. This is the build where I created my product roadmap, which I build into everything that I create. And that's what helps me to build autonomously in the background. Now, this one doesn't have a roadmap yet. That would be the next thing that I'm going to do. And so I'm going to actually reference, this is another thing I like about Lovable is I can reference another project. Let's bring product roadmap over to this project. That's not how you spell it, I don't think, but that's okay. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Cross between IMDb and Wikipedia, certain area. That's cool. I think I'll show you, since you mentioned it, I'll show you this, the RVA art function on channel RVA. I have a lot of fun with this, so you can get directions to anything that's in here so you know where you're going. And the other thing that you can do is you can add it to your tour. And so inside of channel RVA, we have this thing called RVA art, or sorry, my RVA. And when you're logged in, you can get over to that and you can see your events and your mural tour here. So what you can do is you can add these different murals to your calendar if you want to, or you just actually start a route that takes you through all of those different murals. And this is really, again, all about connecting Richmonders back to Richmond. And so I think that anytime you're giving people additional context about space, that's a richer experience than what they would get otherwise. So I think that that's pretty cool. The other thing you can do with this, you have your calendar. This actually can be synced with your Google Calendar, so you can make sure that everything that you've added that is from the events list or from your mural tour, if you did add it to your calendar, is something that can get over there and make sure you do it. And then the other thing you can do is you can share it with your friends. And I forgot. I guess you just define whether or not it's private, friends, or public, so that other people can see it. And then they would see your calendar based on that. So people can see mine if I shared my link, so you can see what events I'm signed up to go to. Obviously, I haven't signed up for anything in a little while because I curate the information on the site. I do not. Don't get to use all the functions in it because I'm constantly building, but yeah, that's just my life. So yeah, that's, again, just how do we make people have a richer experience? I think that's always, what was that question? Okay. So anyway, I'm going to be live again tomorrow at 10 a.m. So I'll pick up where I left off here. We'll finish up the map for hydration media. I think that might be done already. Um, this one is a interesting build that supports an area of my business I own for these hydration stations that we are trying to get rented out to events across the community. And I actually want to see. I feel like the event label on the cards should also be yellow so that it matches with what's in the key. Is my website like Meetup? The only aspect of my website that is like that is the events calendar and the ability to share your calendar publicly with people. So, but it's not, events are a big part of people's lives. And so we have a full event calendar and we scrape stuff from across the web. Um, but it's really about a lot of different things. I'm more interested in the creator side of it. So, helping our local creators get access to audience. So we have a growing subscriber list, and we want to connect the people in our network to those audiences. We want to connect our audiences to local creators, and so that's what all of this is about. And we'll bring more content in here, more partner content as time goes on. So just trying to, I'm always about connecting people, and marketing is about connecting audiences with sellers of goods and services, and so I'm interested in that. Let's see, what do we have here? Let's sprint's empty. We're going to auto assemble a sprint. I told you guys I was going to go, but I'm going to keep going here for a few more minutes because I have just a couple more tasks to complete. I could use some advice if you guys have any thoughts. Passport to Space is the brand is not baked yet. I don't like this logo. I like the logo vibe. I like the feel of it, but I don't like the orientation of it. You can't see anything there, and it's just not going to work. So I have to replace it. I've got something kind of going over here, but this doesn't give me premium vibes. It's a little bit more playful. But then again, I don't know what ultra high net worth people are into who want to go to space. Do they like cool stuff? Do they like high vibes? So I'm trying to figure that out. I do like the dark vibes of space, and I have another project that I did called Spaceport, which is an internal app that I built for my team, and I like the dark vibes on this, so it's been kind of inspiring me lately. All right, so When I view the site on the front end and I'm not logged in, I don't see any of the event locations because I imagine security issues. But these events are public, and we want to make sure that people are aware of the presence of our stations at these events.
You're tuned into channel RVA, the media hub for independent creators.
All right, so we'll come back to the logo, font, design, and all that stuff tomorrow. But you guys got a vibe on what I'm working on. I hope you have a great rest of your day. We will pick back up tomorrow, Sunday at 10 a.m., and we'll finish up all the things that we're working on here. Travel thrift and so I'll get my roadmap installed on this so that we can move a little bit more quickly tomorrow, because there's no doubt some features that are missing from this. But I will work on the marketing side of things and think through some more of the content side of things on travel thrift tomorrow. But that's a wrap for today. Thanks so much for joining me. Hope you guys had a good time and hope you learned something. We'll see you tomorrow.